at the black division at Columbia Records would do about 100 million on average of black music, $100 million in gross earnings.
Jeez. Affinity Extra, be extra. All right, guys, listen, we got Kevin Tomlin right about here. We've fighted for about 20 minutes to get him on this station right now because he is the man who has the knowledge when it comes to black music history, and we have to, you know what I mean, we're going to bring in Thom Bell. You know what I'm saying, guys? We're going to bring this guy, a guy called Thom Bell, into the mix of let me say, look at you, of, you know, gospel. I don't know. How would you call it, bro?
Well, Thom Bell's was known for sexy soul music, sexy Philly soul. It was slick and smooth and polished. It had a different delivery compared to the Gambler Enough. If you listen to the stylistic stuff, you know, it was very soft and lush and sweet. Betty, my golly why, you are everything. Make up to break up. Let's put it all together, you know, just very tender, sweet.
Okay.
You make it brand new. It was very lush.
Okay. All right.
Different delivery.
Okay.
And it was dubbed as sexy soul music, Philly sexy soul music. It was that, you know, it was different.
Okay.
Very lush and polished.
Okay.
You have to actually compare the difference with Thom Bell. You have to listen to the Gambler Enough stuff and listen to the Thom Bell stuff. There were two different sounds altogether. Although they use the same musicians, but it was two different approach. You see what I mean? Yes.
No. That's quite interesting. I think that for me, hearing Thom Bell, because you know we went through the whole Gamble Enough and all that scenario going out there. I think that Thom Bell is quite interesting because I've heard of this Thom Bell, I've heard of it, and I'm like, yeah, that's great, that's fantastic. But when did he start things off, bro? What hits do we know today that we could say, yo, that's Thom Bell? Because it ain't smooth and whatsoever. But what hits would you say that's Thom Bell all day long, every day?
Okay, let me give you an example of a Thom Bell hit. Are You Ready for Love? Are You Ready for Love by the Elton John? That is a Thom Bell hit. That was a production produced in the late 70s, and it was number one for 2 weeks in 2004.
Okay.
Are You Ready for Love? Yes, it sold, I think the first week out, it sold about 50,000 copies. That was recorded in the 1970s, but they re-released it, and it became a monster hit. Okay. So that's a Thom Bell hit.
Yeah.
There are many, but okay. Let's look at Thom Bell run. Thom Bell did about 5 million selling singles for the Stylistics in 1972 to 74 alone.
Okay.
Singles, million selling singles, right?
Mm-hmm.
With about three gold albums.
Okay.
Remember, these were all million sellers, bro.
So you know with bro, so Thom Bell now, yeah. So obviously you got Gamble and Gamble. I call it Gamble Enough, but it's Gamble and
Gamble and
Huff. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So it kind of sounds like the most anti-church title you could ever think about. Gamble, am I Gamble Enough, man? Am I Gamble Enough? But anyway, so yeah, Gamble and Huff. Yeah. You got Gamble and Huff, and then so you've got them two kind of like trailblazers. And when Thom Bell was in the middle, it comes into the mix now. Yeah, within Philadelphia. Yeah. Now I was on the premise that only Motown was the only thing that was doing it in the US. I want to really emphasize to people that it wasn't just Motown. There were other great musical engine rooms in that were starting off in the 60s and 70s that was going out there. So when would you what really? Because you said he had a smart, a very smooth R&B sound. Now you got to realize that based upon what was consumed with Elvis Presley, yeah, would you say Elvis Presley, the popular music right then before, really what they would call race music became more and more popular?
Well, the thing with race movement was actually produced by independent labels at first. You know, like the Imperial Records, Liberty, Speciality, and so forth. These labels were based on the West Coast, most of them, and they were Jewish owned actually.
Okay.
But what happened as the 60s progressed, the major labels like Capitol Records, CBS, and so forth realized, and RCA realized that they could make money with black music. Right? So of course it became a profitability, and what was happening in the different cities in America at the time were actually making monster hits and very lush and sophisticated composition. You had the Chicago soul sound, you had the Memphis soul sound, you have the Muscle soul sound, and all these different black record producers as well as black artists mixing with white sound engineers and string arrangers and so forth, creating very sophisticated sound, you know, like Chicago soul sound, you know, according to the Dells, according to Tyrone Davis, etc. Yes, Curtis Mayfield was Superfly. These became big. At one point, they became so profitable that they were running their own black labels. You know?
Oh wow!
Different cities. Chicago had about 2 successful black labels. You know, VJ Records as well as Curtin Records. You know, black-owned labels that did extremely well. Okay. So Philly had a couple of black labels too. You know, before Philly International, you had Gamble label, right? You had Philly Groove label, which Delphonics came out of. Then you have Arctic label, which Barbara Mason came out of. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Arctic. Yes, I've heard of Arctic. Yeah.
So you have these very different labels actually creating a wave, and then the major labels realized that they could make money from black label because a lot of white youngsters were buying black music. They love it, right? So that's why you have the black record divisions at Columbia Records. You know, the black division at Columbia Records would do about 100 million on average of black music, $100 million in gross earnings.
Jeez.
That was during the 70s, brother. 100 million in gross earning from black music. That we include the Philly International, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Jacksons, etc., all getting into the mix, and and Isley Brothers. Now think about this, right? Think about it. With Thom Bell in particular, Thom Bell was the part of the trio. He was the co-owner of Mighty 3 Publishing, and Thom Bell was doing an independent production, which Gambling were benefiting from with the publishing company, right? Because they had approached him to become a partner in Philly International, but he wanted to not get involved in the business part. He just wanted to be in productions. You follow me?
Yeah.
Producing. And Thom Bell, when it comes to Thom Bell, he created 2 very successful groups during the 70s, the Stylistics and the Spinners.
Okay.
And with the Spinners, he produced about 5 to 6 gold singles with them, and about 5 gold albums. So in actual fact, between 1970 to 1976, Thom Bell probably produced about, I would say, actually about 12 to 13 gold singles, million sellers.
Jeez.
Right?
Mr. Thom Bell.
In that short space of time. And remember, most of those singles actually were released, or the copyrights were part of the Mighty 3 Publishing Group, which became the Mighty Three Publishing Group became the second most successful black publishing house during the 70s, behind Motown one.
Listen, mate, publishing is something that we need to get a head round. Yeah.
If you compare, when you look at 72 alone, Gamble Enough released about, let's see, they did about, say, 5 to 6 million selling singles, right? And Thom Bell was doing that on his section as well. Jeez. So between the both of them, they did about 12 million selling singles, almost. Yes.
Whoa.
Thom Bell, and it's just phenomenal. And we're talking about the tip of the iceberg here.
And you know what's scary, bro? I think that, something that's important, and I spoke to my friend today, and always, guys, when we do this conversation, we just try to relate to what we're trying to do today. And I said to my colleague, said, like, the next products I'm going to do, if I'm going to be involved in releasing music, well, will be hopefully next year, I have to get the dots and the publishing rights and all that information, and make sure that all the income streams are there ripe for what we're about to do. And I think we don't do that due diligence enough within Christendom. We've got such an excellent sound that we don't even realize our potential, and we're realizing day by day how much things we've missed out on because of a lack of knowledge. And it's important that, Kevin, you keep on talking about publishing. Every week you say the word publishing. To us as music curators, we're not touching, we're just thinking publishing is just releasing something. Publishing is a big thing. You know what I mean? Movies, films.
Okay. Let's put it this way: if you look at the amount of Philly tracks that are involved in movie soundtracks, as well as advertisement, it's dozens and dozens. Each year, you hear when would I see you again in advertisement? Yeah. And charitable branding. Yeah. You hear me and Mrs. Jones in movies and advertisement. Yeah. It just goes on. And on. So think about it. Yes, I agree that we make great music, but we got to think long term, that when you're gone, that your family is benefiting from those creative outlets. Wow. Production. I mean, look. Okay, but let's look at it. You Are Everything, a million seller by the Stylistics, 1971, right? It was 1971, and that went pop number 4. Jeez. Bet you my golly wow, the next single, 1972, million seller. You hear me? Jeez. That's 1, 2. That's 70. Both of them were certified in 72. Actually, one was released in 71. The other one was released in around about 1972. Yes. Yeah. Both of them. And the third single is I'm Stone in Love with You, a million seller. That was 1972 when that's certified. So in actual fact, there was 3 singles that were certified in the same year, right? Jeez. And then you go 1973. The next single is Break Up to Make Up, another million seller, the 4th million selling single by the Stylistics. And then the final one is 1974 with You Made Me Brand New. That was both a big hit, but in the UK as well as in the US. Wow. Matter of fact, let me put it this way: Stylistic, Greatest Hit album was number 1 for 9 non-consecutive weeks in the UK. 9 non-consecutive weeks in the UK. Jeez. And it sold 1 million copies, bro. It sold 1 million copies. They were best. They are the best-selling Philadelphia-based vocal recording group from the city. Wow! They sold over 1 million copies with one of their albums, the Greatest Hit album, combination of million seller.
Bro, listen, man. People, I hope you're hearing this, man. And I think, bro, it's really, really, really important that that people have to respect the input of Thom Bell within that Philly sound.
Oh, by the way, I've just discovered. Oh, wait a minute. Because I'm at the airport, they're making an announcement.
No worries, man. No worries.
Talk to you in a minute.
Okay, cool. Yeah, go for it.
Thom Bell was born in Jamaica, you know.
Who's that, Thom Bell?
Yes, Thom Bell is born in Jamaica, Jamaican parentage. Yes, bro.
All right, guys, you hear the West Indian takeover going on right about now, still, yes. So
and he was a good friend of Bob Marley and the family too.
This is what I'm saying, people. Yo, people, listen, man. Yeah. Put in Thom Bell. Don't get mixed up between Tom Jones and Thom.
Look, let me tell you about Thom Bell. Thom Bell is the first black producer in history to get Producer of the Year Grammy Award. The first black producer in history to get the Record Producer Award of the Year for Grammy. That's the first time he was introduced.
Crazy.
Do you hear that?
Crazy, bro.
The brother in between 1970 to 1974, Thom Bell did about probably 12 gold singles. I mean, he was prolific. On top of that, bro, you got to remember, on top of that as well, he produced about, say, 7 or 8 gold albums between the two, by 1974.
Wow.
Spinners and the Stylistic. Not to mention the hit he had with John Mathis, I'm Coming Home, which was a big hit in the UK. I mean, just cleaned it up, bro. He just cleaned it up.
Wow, bro. Guys, I am taken back by the richness of our input on black music, on music in general in the world, and I think it's just important that we get to respect and love what our input is in the music world. And bro, and I appreciate, I know time's gone against us because of a slow start, but we'll get around our technical issues in the future. I'm gonna do some little tests with Kevin to get around these technical issues and whatsoever. But I have to say that we're coming to the end of the show, but I have to salute Thom Bell for his input. I might not agree with his content, but at the end of the day, so yeah, his business acumen and the sheer belief of his skill to get Grammy Awards.
By the way, before you go, his writing partner, especially for the Stylistic, was a white Jewish lady by the name of Linda Creed, the late Linda Creed. Very brilliant lyricist.
Okay. And this is what I'm saying, bro. Again, these guys, when we talk about black music, don't be offended. This is not about only black only. This is about, you know what I mean? It's just a beautiful thing that we just, Well,
you got to remember the sound engineers that recorded, the sound engineers that work on these tracks were white.
Yeah. And they love the music.
And not only that, a lot of the musicians that work on the track, like Bobby Eli, right? Jack Faith and so on are white.
Yeah.
So it was a multiracial group.
Crazy.
And the common denominator was that they loved the music and they wanted to be the best, of top quality, a spirit of excellence. That's what the bottom line. And they wanted something to last forever, even when they're gone and their grandchildren say, yes, well done, granddad.
Listen,
right?
That's crazy, bro.
Legacy, bro. Legacy.
Crazy.
Legacy.
And that's what we're here to do, bro. To step that legacy, bro. But listen, bro, I'm about to get kicked off my station, man. Listen, bro, thanks again for dropping in with that, Mo. We're gonna get around the technical issues next week. We're gonna do some pre-records anyway, still, yeah. But listen,
we'll sort it out.
We'll get on top of that, man. But listen, guys, enough love, Kevin. Thanks again, man. You know what I'm saying? We used the old FaceTime today, man. So hopefully this all works out on the recording afterwards on YouTube. Please help me, guys. But this is what you hear on Affinity Xtra. We're to be extra. We're to celebrate black music here on the station, on the YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe. If you want to know more about black music, keep watching the channel and keep it Affinity Xtra alongside the great historian of black music, which is Kevin Tomlin, bro.
But indeed, welcome, brother. Take care.
Take care, brother, man. Enough love. Bless, man.
Visit us for updates and shows at affinityextra.co.uk.